Fratello, ti serve qualcosa?
Ho fame. E ho sete.
Come vedi ce n'è per due. Accomodati.
Loved that this piece hit the ground running, sirens and all. It viscerally dropped us right in, and I was immediately piqued. The action gave us kind of all the information we needed, and we didn't need all the exposition because it allowed us to have that fun uncovering as the conversation continued. The parable peppered conversation, this balance between good and evil, God and the devil, actions and consequences. And it was fascinating to just sit and kind of let wash over us. And I love that we got only the back of the one character for majority of the piece. And we're the observer getting to project our ideas onto it. And I love that we ended with the same sirens, that signal of the alarm and the stress inside. So a nice full circle journey.
Overall, it's a very interesting look at humanity and morality. There's discussions of brotherhood and the meaning of it, a lot of religious symbolism with the fishermen, fisher of men, when you think of Jesus, the sharing of the bread. The revealing of the womb was a very interesting choice, and it really added to the surrealistic aspect of this piece and really sort of made you realize that this is more than just a conversation between two men. This is something actually a higher power is speaking to him and speaking to him in a way to get him to change the aspects of his life because he is clearly not living a life where he is concerned about others outside of himself. And so it was just a really great look at morality.
Cinematic beauty of a piece. We get this sense of peace, calm, collectiveness. We get to have, essentially a moment to think back of what it's like to go fishing. Usually go in the early morning. It's usually you keep the crowd small as you sort of have this time to be quiet and peaceful and, catch fish in the morning. That's kind of the remnants of what I'm led myself into thinking as the short film begins. And as we dive, as we see our gentleman, having a conversation with this fisherman, it dives into more of a man versus religion storyline. I feel like we get to have this conversation about, you know, life and beliefs and morals and death. And then, we kind of get to have this moment in the end of, is any of this even real? Which I think is something that we as humans often have these moments of peacefulness that are then riddled with worry and anxiety and kind of making us feel as if we're having this out of body experience. And sometimes we have this conversation with a part of our consciousness which may or may not be present with us at the time, which I think is kind of how we see in this metaphorical presentation of the fisherman himself.
This film abounds with mystery from the very beginning, with a guy running into an old man having a conversation. But when the fisherman stands and you see the knife in his back, the wound where it was, it kind of makes you gasp because it's really unexpected. They're having a conversation about fish and life and God, and then you stand and you're like, uh-oh. It would explain why this man knew he was a fugitive. It's almost like this guy's guilt is eating at him and he's running out of time. It was amazing. I really didn't see this twist coming. It really threw me off. I was thinking it was just going to be a nice guy and that he's running from something. I just didn't expect it to be murder where he's talking to the ghost of his victim. It was really well done.
It got me intrigued right away and then kept me there trying to figure out what this was about. I like that he seems like the victim in the beginning. I really like the concept of he's talking to his victim. At least that's what I got from this, that he killed this guy and he's not the victim. He's actually the bad guy. I wasn't sure though why he wouldn't recognize his victim. So that's why I kind of feel like an element was missing. Like maybe it was more dreamlike, but you don't want to give that away either. So I know it's a little bit of a balancing act. I just wasn't quite sure why he didn't recognize the person. Maybe the guy could have been, never seen his face the whole time he was at the beach. That might have been a little bit better for me. But I really like the creativity of this plot.
Very symbolic. I loved how the story unfolds as you gradually piece together who these characters mean to one another, maybe a Christ-like figure and a questioning human. The setting by the water with simple props all worked so well. I loved the performances of the two actors, one anxious and one relaxed. The dialogue was so well delivered and the imagery effective, touching on good and evil. Clever ending.